My house was a battlefield of light that December night, pulsing with the clash of red and blue police strobes and a jaw-dropping laser show that turned my plain suburban colonial into a canvas of silent fireworks. Emerald rockets streaked up the siding, ruby peonies burst over the windows, and golden cascades shimmered across the roof and garage door. A faint, sweet-smelling haze hung in the air, catching the beams and making them glow like solid ribbons against the icy winter sky. It was breathtaking, chaotic, and a bit over the top. I stood on my porch, hard hammering, trying to play it cool while sneaking the controls software windows shut on my laptop. Just photons, I muttered, forcing a grin. Harmless light. Maybe I shouldn't have programmed that finale to sweep so wildly across the lawn, Mrs. Jenkins' poodle looked like it saw a UFO. And yeah, a stray beam might have grazed the cop car's windshield. Oops. This whole spectacle was my doing, sparked by a feud with Linda Harper, my neighbor, and the HOA's iron-fisted president. Linda, with her flawless lawn and a smile sharper than her pruning shears, headed out for my holiday lights 3 weeks earlier. I'd poured a weekend into stringing up classic C9 bulbs red, green, blue, yellow framing my roofline, windows, and porch. Icicle lights twinkled like fresh snow, and a 6-foot inflatable snowman waved cheerily by the mailbox, all triple-checked against the HOA's rulebook. To me, it was a glowing beacon of holiday spirit. To Linda? Garish, and disruptive to the neighborhood's aesthetic. She sauntered over, voice syrupy, and suggested I ditch my aggressive, twinkling lights for static white ones. I chuckled, thinking she was kidding. She wasn't. Soon, my mailbox was stuffed with notices, warnings about excessive illumination, a $50 fine for lights on past 9 p.m., and a final demand to tear it all down or face $100 daily fines. I tried reasoning at an HOA meeting, pointing out that Bob's roof down the street blinked to Christmas carols. His are white, James, Linda said, like that settled it. My appeal was crushed, and I stood in my yard, staring at my cheerful light hours of work, smiles from passing kids feeling like a kid whose sandcastle got stomped. That's when something snapped. If Linda thought my bulbs were too much, I'd give her a show she'd never forget. I scoured the HOA rulebook, hunting for a loophole, and struck gold, not a word about projected light. No mention of lasers. No rules against animations beamed onto a house. It was a chink in her armor of bureaucracy. You can't regulate photons, Linda, I whispered, a grin creeping across my face. I found Mike, a laser tech, on a sketchy online forum. Mid-30s, with laser beam tattoos snaking up his arms and a hatred for red tape, Mike was my guy. He rolled up to my house, surveyed the scene, and declared, "Operation Light Storm is on." We needed heavy-duty gear, 2 5-watt RGB laser projectors, a haze machine for that 3D pop, and software to choreograph a fireworks extravaganza that'd make Linda's head spin. It wasn't cheap, way more than a lifetime of C9 bulbs, and the setup was brutal. We hauled projectors onto my roof, bolted them to the chimney, and snaked heavy-duty cables from the garage, hiding them from Linda's eagle eyes. Programming the show took late-night hours, rockets trailing sparks, peonies exploding in red and gold, Catherine wheels spinning on the garage door. We flirted with a snarky, bah humbug, message but settled for a massive, happy holidays, to stay legal. The lead-up wasn't smooth. Late-night testing nearly outed us when a green rocket outlined Linda's cat, Mittens, on the fence. She blinked, unbothered, but we scrambled to tweak the aim. The haze machine, set too high, turned my yard into a horror movie set, tripping my smoke detector and sending me into a panic. Aligning the projectors was a shouting match, me on the ground with binoculars, Mike on the roof, nudging them inch by inch. Linda sensed something was up. She'd seen the delivery trucks, the handyman bolting, laser cannons, to my chimney, and my late-night tinkering. Her patrols past my house grew frequent, her notes nastier, reminders about unapproved rooftop equipment and large electrical installations. One afternoon, she cornered me while I pretended to rake leaves. "What's that sci-fi machinery, James?" she asked, eyes narrowed. Just eco-friendly lighting, Linda, I said, all innocence. Lower carbon footprint. She didn't buy it but lacked proof, so she fumed. The big night was a crisp Saturday before Christmas. I tipped off my non-Linda neighbors about a new light thing, and waited till 9:01 p.m., just to rub it in. With a sip of bourbon and a click, the show roared to life. A green rocket shot up my siding, bursting into a ruby chrysanthemum. Gold willows dripped down the walls, blue sparks chased red, and a white cascade poured from the roofline. The haze made the beams glow like real fireworks slicing the air. Neighbors spilled onto porches, phones out, whispering, "Are those lasers?" Linda's door slammed open. She charged across her lawn, phone to her ear, rage radiating like heat. Minutes later, 2 cop cars arrived, their lights mixing with my display in a chaotic dance. The officers, one with a skeptical mustache, the other stifling a grin, stood on my lawn, squinting at the silent spectacle. "Mr. Carter, can you pause this?" Mustache cop yelled, as if there was noise. Linda, practically VY bratting, screeched about blinding the neighborhood and illegal raves. I played dumb accidentally, triggering a green burst that lit her furious face. "Just photons, officers," I said. "No noise, no mess, no rule against it." The younger cop checked his tablet, confirming no city ordinance banned laser projections, as long as they didn't hit roads or planes. Linda claimed the haze was noxious fumes, but I countered, "It's theater-grade mist, cleaner than your fireplace smoke." The cops, fed up with HOA nonsense, told Linda it was a CIVYL matter and left. I pounced, hitting the grand finale, a barrage of silent explosions, red, blue, purple, gold, crowning with "Happy Holidays" in glittering white across my garage. Linda's shriek was louder than my entire show. She stormed off, and the lasers faded to black. My phone exploded with text friends, neighbors, strangers who saw VY Deos online. The neighborhood split, Team James, the creative rebel, versus Team Linda, the tacky lawbreaker. The HOA held 3 emergency meetings, slapped me with fines for unapproved fogging, and rewrote the rules to ban lasers next year. I paid the fines, framed them, and hung them in my office. Mike helped dismantle the gear, grinning. "Legendary, man. Reindeer next year?" I laughed, eyeing Linda's house, where she was savagely pruning roses. "Maybe snowflakes," I said, pausing. "Or the HOA rulebook, scrolling across my garage. For education." The light war was done, but the spark of VY Tori and the promise of future photon-fueled mischief burned bright.